Let's get into it.
The biggest not so secret in Washington is Joe Biden's a little creepy.
A little creepy.
I love those barrettes in her hair, man. I tell you what. And look at her. She looks like she's 19 years old, sitting there with her, like a little lady with her legs crossed.
And confidence. We've got a lot of thanks to give out here.
And I want to see these beautiful young ladies. I want to see them dancing when they're 4 years older, too.
Hey, yo, what? Yo, where is his like PR team for real? Like, nobody thought to like take him to the bag, talk to him, be like, hey, like you can't be sniffing people's hair, you can't be making little comments like that. Like, if he was a regular dude, he'd be in jail right now. Y'all think about that.
Can I go with just alone? Now, the very important thing I told my daughter and granddaughters, no serious guys in the 30s.
Joe Biden actually had to apologize during the last campaign for, let's just say, evading women's space.
I've always tried to make a human connection. That's my responsibility, I think. I shake hands, I hug people, I grab men and women by the shoulders and say, you can do this. And social norms have begun to change, they've shifted, and the boundaries of protecting personal space have been reset. And I get
it. He doesn't get it. He hasn't learned a thing since the apology. Here he is.
I don't think people have a problem with like a hug. I don't think people have a problem with, like, a little shoulder tap or something like that. But he be doing a little bit too much, almost to the point where it's just kind of like it make you uncomfortable, especially if you don't know him. Like, yeah, he's the president, but it's just kind of like, you all up in my ear, I can hear you breathing. Like, nah.
Last night with Eva Longoria, getting away with as much as he could.
Thank
you. Okay. Time to let go.
Oh, the old hand move. Just a regular day in the office for Biden. You got trans flasher at pride parties, Juneteenth hoedowns, and movie night with Eva Longoria. Is Joe Biden...
Y'all saw that, right? She had to kind of gently move his hands back without causing a scene. No, sir.
Ever going to hit the campaign trail? It's been 2 months since he announced. Now we're hearing he may have a campaign event tomorrow. He warmed up in Connecticut today and went off teleprompter and blamed the fentanyl crisis on Americans selling Mexicans guns. Listen.
You know what I get when we're talking about the fentanyl at the border and all that? I speak with the president of Mexico. Will you stop sending guns to us? We are sending dangerous weapons, particularly assault weapons, to Mexico. To Mexico. They're asking us, please stop it. Cut it off at the border.
The Obama-Biden administration literally got caught selling Mexico guns. It was called Fast and Furious. Eric Holder was held in contempt of Congress for covering it up. But that
true. See, I thought it was the other way around, because I was like, wasn't it like we were sending, well, they were sending us guns, or I don't know. I get it confused most of the time. But I was like, I could have swore it was the other way around, but yeah, I'm pretty sure we were the ones that were like Obama and them that were selling the guns. Like, nah.
It tells you how brilliant Joe Biden really is. His plan to stop fentanyl is to crack down on the Second Amendment. And then Biden went full corn pop.
And in most cities, down in Philadelphia and New York, areas I know well, like up here, you'd see a truck pull to the curb and selling weapons. Selling guns, selling AR-15, selling weapons.
Is Joe Biden talking about stuff he saw in the movies? When has Joe Biden ever seen anyone selling AR-15s from the back of a truck in broad daylight in Philly or New York? Last week, it was gays getting kicked out of restaurants. Now it's rifle sales out of the back of pickup trucks. But Biden was on a roll.
This ain't everybody hate Chris. This ain't just fell off the back of a truck. Like, who he think he is? Like, nah, you can tell he really just trying to push some motive. That's all.
And he started playing the hits.
That's the truth. Now, don't make a lie. As that scene in the John Wayne movie, don't make me a dog-faced lion pony soldier.
And then he left us with this.
All right. God save the Queen, man.
Queen's dead, Joe. You went to her funeral, and you're not in Britain. You're in Connecticut. This is why Joe Biden's not allowed to campaign. Even if Joe Biden wanted to campaign, his handlers wouldn't let him. President Joe Biden doesn't really have much of a say in the Biden presidency.
You look confused.
President Biden came out publicly and said that he expected to talk to President Xi soon, in his words, and that they were going to get to the bottom of this. Well, what we're learning is that behind the scenes, what happened is the president wanted to talk to President Xi, and his aides made the case that it wasn't the time for that a phone call between the two leaders was not the thing to do. The president was essentially talked out of doing what he thought was potentially strategically the thing to do, which
So Biden's corrupt, creepy, and not in charge. Got it. His staff wouldn't let him shoot down the China spy balloon, and then they wouldn't let him call China afterwards. Now, a diligent media would connect the dots. China pays the Bidens millions of dollars, and then Biden goes soft on China. But despite the cover-up, a majority of Americans now believe Joe Biden took foreign bribes in exchange for.
Yeah, and that's pretty much the end of the video. But it's pretty evident that Joe is a creep and he's been known to be a creep on several occasions, and that he's not fully in charge. That's just my opinion. I mean, that's what I can see in the news, but y'all tell me what you guys think, in the comments, like, comment and subscribe and, provide me with some feedback.